Right now, there is a banking app on your phone that you are terrified to open. You're not forgetting about it. You're actively avoiding it. Scientists call this the Ostrich Effect. And I'm going to show you exactly how this specific psychological glitch is quietly stealing $12,000 from you right now, and the simple 10-minute system to shut it down forever. You've done this with more than just your bank account. Think about the last time you waited on a medical result you were worried about. You didn't check immediately. You let it sit. Because your brain already knew what the notification might say. That's not a coincidence. Here's what's actually happening inside you when you swipe that banking notification away. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a negative bank balance and a physical danger. Financial stress activates the same neural circuitry as a predator. Your body goes into threat mode, cortisol spike, elevated heart rate, the full response. And the fastest way your brain knows to end that response is to eliminate the source of the signal. Close the app. Think about something else. And for a few minutes, it works. The cortisol drops. The discomfort fades. Your brain registers this as a successful threat response. The problem is, a lion disappears when you run. A credit card balance does not. A massive study of 100,000 investors proved something terrifying. When people start losing money, they don't look closer to fix it. They literally stop looking at their accounts. And the worse the losses get, the harder they look away. They named this the Ostrich Effect. But here is the brutal part. The people who looked away didn't just feel anxious. They performed mathematically worse. Your financial anxiety is not caused by your numbers. It's caused by your uncertainty about them. And the only thing that resolves uncertainty is information. Which means the solution isn't a mindset shift. It isn't a better morning routine. It's something most people can do in 10 minutes and have never tried. 4 numbers. That's all this takes. First, your net income, what actually arrives after taxes, not your salary, what you take home. Second, your fixed expenses, rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, the things your life requires no matter what. Third, your savings, anything moving automatically toward an emergency fund or a future goal. Fourth, your discretionary spending. Everything left. Write those 4 numbers down, roughly, not perfectly. The goal isn't accounting precision, it's transforming your finances from an unknown threat into a known quantity. When you do this, something shifts that nobody tells you about. The next time you see a banking notification, the cortisol doesn't spike the way it did before. Because your brain is no longer encountering the unknown. It's reviewing something it already understands. The avoidance loop that ran automatically for weeks breaks. Not because you forced yourself to be more disciplined, because you removed the condition that made the loop necessary. Clarity replaces anxiety. Every time. Without exception. But here's what those 4 numbers are almost certainly going to show you. And this is where most people realize the avoidance wasn't just uncomfortable. It was expensive. Once you actually look at your financial picture, one number tends to surface above everything else. Not your income, not your savings rate, your debt, and more specifically, what you've been doing with it. If you carry a credit card balance, and according to the Federal Reserve, 45% of American cardholders do every month, there's a strong chance you've been paying the minimum. And every month you do, your brain files it under handled. You paid it, you're current, you're staying on top of things. That feeling of management is the second layer of the Ostrich Effect. You looked at your finances, but your brain is still quietly protecting you from seeing what's underneath the number. Here's what paying the minimum actually looks like as math. $6,000, credit card debt at 25% interest. That's not an extreme scenario. The average APR on new credit cards in the United States right now falls between 24 and 28%. Your minimum monthly payment on a $6,000 balance is approximately $185. That feels manageable. You pay it every month, you move on, life continues. But look inside that $185. $60 of it goes toward your actual balance. 60. The remaining $125 every single month goes directly to the credit card company as interest. You are not climbing out of debt. You are paying rent to stay in it. Now extend that forward. If you continue paying only the minimum, on time, every month, never missing a payment, it takes 25 years to clear that $6,000. And by the time you make the final payment, you will have paid $12,000 in interest alone. You borrowed $6,000. You repaid $18,000. You paid for the same debt twice over, spread across a quarter century. This is not a worst-case scenario. This is how the minimum payment was mathematically designed to function. The Ostrich Effect didn't just create anxiety. It created a mechanism that quietly extracted $12,000 from your financial life, one manageable monthly payment at a time, because you never looked closely enough to see the structure underneath. $12,000. That's the cost of not looking. Now here's what the same math looks like. Run in reverse. List every debt you carry right now, every account, every balance, the APR on each one, and the minimum monthly payment. Then rank them from highest interest rate to lowest. Pay the minimum on everything except the debt at the top. On that one, every dollar beyond your fixed expenses goes there. Not some of it. All of it. Every month. Until it's gone. Then you move to the next one. Avalanche Method. That's what this is called. And mathematically, nothing beats it. On that $6,000 at 25%. If you increase your monthly payment from $185 to $500, you pay it off in 14 months and pay approximately $800 in total interest. Not $12,000. $800. 14 months instead of 25 years. Same debt. Same income. The only variable that changed is what you chose to do once you stopped looking away. 14 months instead of 25 years. But here is why the Avalanche Method fails for 90% of people after just 1 month. They rely on willpower. Financial discipline isn't a character trait. It's a battery that runs out. Engaging with your finances requires effort. Closing the app requires zero. So, to beat the Ostrich Effect, you don't build better habits. You build a system that bypasses your brain entirely. Here is the 3-step architecture you set up on payday. Engaging with your finances requires deliberate choice. Closing the app requires nothing. That's not weakness. That's neuroscience. The people who stay financially consistent didn't beat this. They bypassed it entirely. They built systems that execute without requiring a decision, because the decision was made once, in advance, when their energy was high and their intention was clear. The secret to lasting financial health isn't discipline. It's designing a system that doesn't need it. Here's exactly what that system looks like. On the day your paycheck arrives, the same day, not the day after, 3 transfers happen automatically before a single dollar is available to spend. The first goes to your emergency fund or savings account, the amount you calculated during your Ostrich Audit, what you can spare without disrupting your fixed expenses. It moves on its own. You never see it arrive and then decide what to do with it. The decision doesn't exist. It's already executed. The second covers your debt repayment, your minimums across every account, plus the extra amount directed at your highest interest debt. It goes out on payday, not at the end of the month when everything else has absorbed the money. Your debt gets addressed at the beginning of the cycle, when the funds are actually there. The third is your investment contribution, even if it's $50, even if the amount feels small right now. Automated into a retirement account or a low-cost index fund. The amount matters less at this stage than the architecture being locked in. You can increase the contribution when you're able to. You can't go back and fix the years before you started. What remains in your account after those 3 transfers is entirely yours. Guilt-free. No tracking required. No second guessing. Because the important work already happened before you ever touched the money. You are not relying on discipline. You have eliminated the moment where discipline would be required. And the Ostrich Effect? It loses its mechanism. There's no looming unknown left to protect yourself from. The decisions are already made. The system is already running. Your finances aren't waiting for you to summon the motivation to engage with them. They're already handled. The anxiety that made you look away in the first place dissolves. Not because your situation became easier, because the uncertainty that fed the anxiety is gone. You weren't being irresponsible. You were being human. Your brain did precisely what evolution built it to do. It just applied the wrong tool to the wrong kind of threat. The ostrich effect works perfectly when the danger is a predator. For a credit card balance, it is one of the most expensive cognitive patterns in personal finance. Now you know its name, its mechanism, and exactly how to dismantle it. Not through willpower, but through design. Here's what nobody talks about once the ostrich effect is fixed. Once you can look at your account without flinching, once the system runs automatically and the anxiety is gone, something else becomes visible. A different number. One that most people calculate wrong, even after they've sorted out their debt. It's the number that separates staying financially stable from actually building wealth. I made a video that covers exactly that number. It's on screen right now. And if this is the kind of content you want more of, the psychology behind why you handle money the way you do, and the exact math behind what it costs, subscribe. One video a week. No fluff. Just the mechanisms and the numbers. Drop a comment before you go. When did you last check your bank account? No judgment. Just honest. I'm genuinely curious where you are.